We are live, Andrew. We made it to Thursday.
Night.
One more day, and it's the weekend, bud.
Dude, it is. I can't wait for the weekend, but I know that you're dreading it.
I can absolutely wait.
You're excited, but you're like scared,
dude,
right?
I mean, I get to fish poga. Like, who doesn't like fishing poga? There's giant fish to be caught out there, but it's gonna be an adventure, man. Luckily, like the cooler, dude. I was looking at like 23 degrees at 3 a.m. when I was trying to get there, and now it's like 33 degrees. So I'm excited for that, I guess. Right? My glasses always half full. That's how you gotta look at it, right?
100%.
Dude, so what you have been a trooper the past couple of days as well, man.
Dude, I've been all over the place. I found out that I could catch a shad on a rattle trap.
That's right. Foul hooking him.
Yeah, no.
That was a giant shad too, bro. Did you guys weigh it?
No, but I can tell you it was definitely a couple pounds.
Listen, Brandon, it's a love-hate thing, bud. It's a love-hate. I love when I catch giants and I hate when I don't. No. Right. What's going on, Ryan? How are we doing, bud?
And then I'm going to show you guys a photo of how my day went. Sacrifices yet again were made.
Mr. Trinity in the house. How we doing? Mr. Catch Some Relief himself.
What's up, Trinity?
How we doing, bud?
Sacrifices were made today. I was out with David and Bassmaster Elite Brad Watley, and we were just doing some content stuff for Brad, and David wanted to get this shot, and I said, sure, we'll get it. You know, I'm all for it. And then this is my view.
That's like your face. That is your face.
I got so drenched with this shot. Thank God it was not below 50. That's all I'm going to say. But the results were badass. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get it out there and help Brad get that. I don't know. He's got a lot of cool stuff coming, dude.
Dude, Kevin, I got my box. Thank you so much. Those items, I'm not going to – those are personal items. I'm not going to do – I read the note too. I'm not going to do an unboxing live. Or maybe
you should do an unboxing live.
I will. I might go live on IG.
Oh, my God.
On the NextFish. That's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing, Kevin. So tune into that. We got Ernest in the house. How's it going, bud? And fishing with David just might be the problem.
Fishing with David in his new boat where he's like a little giddy kid with a gas pedal is bad.
Dude, I'd be pretty giddy too. That's a slick ride, man. That's a
slick
ride.
We were trying to get side-by-side shots. So we're running about, I don't know, 45, 50 miles an hour side-by-side. Brad speeds up to get ahead. Dave speeds up. Dude, my gimbal couldn't hold up. It was bad. I was like, y'all got to slow down, dude. We were doing about 60, 65. And
are you just like
not horrible? Well, like I was off to the side, and then all of a sudden it just rolled, and I was like, okay. I was like, this is bad, but no.
Too much pressure on the old gimbal, man.
It was, but
poor Ronan, dude. You probably had them gears at this smoking, dude.
It was not happening.
No, I mean, dude, Saturday morning is going to be crazy. Shout out to Steve Dial. He's doing a free tournament, guys. You can still get into this tournament. You can show up there, and and thug it out with some of the big sticks on pogo. They're all going to be out there. Anybody who's anybody and that fishes pogo is probably going to be there. And it's free, and he's got a ton of cool stuff. A lot of sponsors chipped in to make this something special. So support Mr. Steve Dial. He's making some awesome baits over at Bruiser Baits. Flat out tungsten, best tungsten in the game, in my opinion. And Brandon hit the nail on the head. It's going to be windy and it's going to be cold. So thank goodness you came through with that Grundon's jacket from like 5 years ago or whatever, however long you've held on to it. Brand new.
Couple years. Brand new with the tags on it. I was like, man.
Dude, I can't believe how much that jacket cost.
Yeah, dude.
Like I felt kind of bad, but then as soon as I like slipped my hand into it, I was like, I don't feel so bad anymore. Like this is awesome.
His loss, dude. His loss.
Yeah, I won. It's a win.
No. You need a picture on the boat Saturday morning with that jacket on with a cup of hot cocoa on the front of the boat.
I'll do it. I swear I will.
Do it.
You know I will. This guy's coming.
So, dude, tell me about the guest we have tonight. Mr. Mikeybalzz. Tell me.
I almost don't want to. I feel like if you're in here and you don't know, it's a problem.
That's right. Trinity with the truth right here.
Trinity with the truth. Real quick before we talk about our guest.
If you think I'm not rubbing up tonight, man. Yeah, boost capsules are
and this, I know you're gonna take this in the morning. Let me tell you, this guys will definitely change your whole entire life. Mr. Kyle King, I got those 7 for you. I know the pain cream worked for you. Trust me, man. This CBD stuff is no joke, guys. Anything you've tried is it's unlike what Mr. Trinity has over at Catch Some Relief. We got a 25% off code going on right now. I'm gonna put it up one more time so you can save yourself some money and get some good stuff that works. You're sipping on the hop log, I see it. So you haven't changed there. All right. But real quick, we are going to talk about the guest that we have coming on because I'm super excited for him. This guy's just a straight hammer. I really don't have any other words to describe Mr. Mikeybalzz. Wherever he goes, he figures it out, and it's not by luck. I mean, he puts in the work. He's out there every day grinding, figuring it out, making it happen. And we're going to pick his brain. For all you Florida fishermen, we all know he fishes Central Florida, and he fishes everywhere and kills it. But we're going to shoot to this Power Pro commercial real quick, and we'll bring him on and chop it up with Mr. Mikeybalzz.
Things you let me see.
Mikey,
that commercial got me all fired up, dude.
I was just going to ask you, get you excited.
Like, what the hell am I doing in the house, man?
Dude, all I want to do is hop on a boat and just ride out, just powerful down every chance I get. No, but look, Mikey, man, it's 2024, man. We need you, bud.
Yeah,
dude, we need you.
I don't have enough time to fish as is.
Oh man.
What are you talking about? They go golfing all the time. You'll have plenty of time.
Yeah,
I don't go golfing. You know, it's funny. I got a bunch of buddies that fish a lot, and as they're getting older, they're starting to golf. And maybe I don't know if it's me or if it's them, because I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you, dude?
It's
like,
them, dude.
Is it them? It's not me, it's you, kind of thing.
Like, I'll go golfing. I will go golfing if it's like a pitch and putt, those par 3 courses, and I've got like at least 2 cases of beer. That's it.
That would do it.
I'll go golfing.
Hit them off that. What the hell is the thing called where you go on like the second level and like you hit?
It's like, and there's like food and like a bar and stuff.
Yeah, dude. And you can go. It's like got 5 levels and
Top Golf. There's like
that's it.
And there's like battle games. Like you get to battle your boys.
I would do that.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty competitive though. So I think because of the fact it's like a quick game, like I got to beat you and hit it in that hole and get more points. It excites me. And there's food.
It's all about getting it in the hole, dude.
Yeah, got to get it in the hole. Duh. Yeah. What is happening? What has our show become?
Now listen. Full disclosure, I was in the back room while I think Andrew was talking about like rubbing it on or something like that.
Dude.
Yeah,
he talks
like, what did I get myself?
Weird stuff.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, Mikey.
It's all topical.
Welcome to the NextFish podcast. You never know what's going to happen. No.
Cool.
So, Mikey, for those who don't know, and I don't know if there's anybody in the state of Florida that don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in fishing and become who you are today?
So I basically have a YouTube channel, do a bunch of stuff on social media, and a lot of the things I'm old, I guess you could say. Like, so I was doing a lot of this social media stuff like 10, actually it's even like 12 years ago now. So I'm not so cool now, but way back in the day, I was kind of cool because nobody was using cameras on the boats and stuff like that. And basically I got in ahead of the game, shot a bunch of videos, kind of that sort of grassroots, sort of real on the water fishing content. You know, the biggest trick is all these super important people, you know, Jimmy Houston, Kevin Van Dam, and by no means can I fish like them, but they all had camera crews, Roland, all these guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, when the technology was sort of like catching up with us, like in 2008 through like maybe 2010, all of a sudden, like anglers, normal people like me, like you guys, like we could go out there and we could film our fishing and like what was happening, what was going on in the water. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of grew up a little bit earlier before then. And literally all bass fishing content was filled with bullshit. Like it was so thick, you had to swim through it. And I was so fed up with that because my old man really didn't fish. No one ever really taught me. I didn't have like a mentor. My best friend helped me a bit, but there was never a reliable. There was credible sources, but they burned through their credibility by being so full of shit. Like it was really obnoxious. So there was never like a resource you could go to and say, I want to learn about X, Y, and Z. Like, just tell me a little bit and I'll put the work in and do the rest. So I wanted to sort of capture my experience. Not that it has any great value, but at least it was like realistic and I was being honest and putting it up there. And like maybe somebody else would do the same. And then I could draw from that. They could draw from me and then somebody else would do it. And literally, you know, before the internet became all porn, like that's kind of what it was, you know, it was this open source of really normal people communication. All of us could have a voice. And I hedged off that and, you know, grew the channel. It's not nearly like big time or anything like that, but there's a cool audience that's really kind of like hardcore watching it. And it's opened a lot of doors. A lot of the work that I do now, I work as a consultant, super important, right? But, you know, I do a lot of social media marketing management, stuff like that. And even if it's not in the fishing industry, the things that I do would have never happened if it weren't for me kind of sticking my toes in the water, filming fishing, learning about Facebook, learning about Instagram, learning about social media, and just talking with people. Like, not with important people, and not to say we're not important, but you know what I mean? Like having a conversation with the end user, who's actually going to throw that jerk bait, who's actually going to buy that reel, like talking with people like that and understanding what they were looking for when it came to content and that. And it's really opened up into kind of a cool thing. Like, I don't make a huge ton of money off of YouTube, but I make a little chunk of money. It allows me to go do some fishing. I make some money off my consulting. I'm able to work from home and be a little flexible with my schedule. So it's been a great opportunity, you know?
That's awesome, dude. Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like the first guest. It's interesting, your story, because I believe you're one of our first guests that it wasn't either dad or grandpa or the family going fishing at a young age. Am I wrong in saying that?
No. So like that kind of leads me, like, what drew you to fishing? So,
you know, it's kind of funny. I never fished when I was a kid. Like, we'd go and like fish as a kid, like you do.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean.
actually, I would go wakeboarding all the time. I lived up in Wisconsin, and we had like a little sea ray, a 17.5-foot sea ray. We actually did this super cool mod. I don't know if you guys wakeboard, but before they made those big weight bags you fill with water in the back of the boat to make the wake bigger, we used to put gas tanks and like fill with water in the back of the boat. Dude, we had like a 3.5-foot wake. It was badass. But so we had this
that's awesome.
We'd always go wakeboarding, and I love being at the lake. That's something that's always been there. And the old man kind of brought me into that. He grew up not on the lake, but always being near to it, going to it. That was the recreation that we did. And we just started fishing a little bit every once in a while after. And me and my best friend from up north, we had one day, and there's one, you know how you always, like, not an epiphany, but those sort of pillar moments that you have in your life that you never like forget. Maybe they're manufactured to an extent as you get older, but there was one day we went out, and the funny part about this deal is I didn't even get to fish that much, but we fished a lake, super pressured lake, and the fish must have been moving up on beds, and we didn't have a trolling motor or anything, and we got in this sea ray and we drifted the sand flat, and dude, there had to be 150 fish on beds in this strip. And we were rigging up these old power bait, you know, remember the old curly tail worm power baits?
Oh, yeah.
So we did like a worm harness on them. And my role is I was rigging them up, and these guys were using them as fast as we could, like, rig them up, catching 2-3 pounders, which are chunky fish for the lake we were on up there. And it was the coolest shit, dude. But we figured them out, you know, like that feeling when you like, dude, like, I could catch another 20 fish. Like, they're dialed in. We're doing everything right. All the cylinders are firing. And it was the most like exhilarating. Like, I love wakeboarding, doing all that kind of stuff. But this was just like a come to Jesus moment. It was so cool. Like, you had the right setup, you had the right area, and all these pieces came together. And that really hooked me, dude. And ever since then, I've drifted, you know, partied a bit in college and stuff and kind of stopped fishing, but then came back into it. But it's always been that pursuit of understanding and that fishing offers in comparison to any other activity I've done. It has so many different dimensions to it, and you fail so often. You're never a winner, dude.
Never.
You can win a battle, you can progress, but in the end, dude, you got 24 hours to enjoy that victory, and then it's another day, dude. So it's something that just keeps you driven, and it's always changing, dude. So that was kind of like, if I were to put my finger on a start day, that was it.
Had to be that. Yeah, I think I think the failures of fishing make those successes so much better, man. Because nobody sees the failures, the amount of failure. It's a tough thing to, and nobody wants to watch it either, right? Like
I am consistently. I am consistently
videos of no fish.
Oh my God, no! I literally fail consistently. Like I think
you fail a lot.
Ouch.
Well, but here's what I'm good at. I'm good at capturing other successes. So I live vicariously through a lot of people.
And you gotta fail, dude. I mean, I think that's a part of the game. Like
Joe fails all the time, dude. And I don't mind failing, dude. Failing's cool to me. Failing means, dude. I just the idea of, like you said, figuring them out is so much more rewarding. Even if you catch like a one pound fish that day, you feel like you done did something sometimes. Like, depending on how hard you grinded.
Or you go back to the drawing board and your entire evening is focused on like, what did I do? What could I have done differently? Mm-hmm. What did I miss? Like, there's so much analytics that go into fishing, and it's all for that moment too. Because the crazy part is it changes so much from day to day, dude. Like, it's you can figure out the day that you had if it sucked and figure out what you did wrong, but it doesn't mean the next day that if you go back and make those changes, it's going to make any difference, dude. And that's what's so dynamic about it.
Such a beautiful puzzle, man. And then you hit that like 8.5, that 9, that 10, and it's like, hell yeah, let's go another 7 years before that happens, right? Like, no. I mean, of course, but then you build, you build and you become better and enjoy every failure, enjoy every hard time on the water, because it's going to make you that much better, man. That's my way of looking at it.
I'll tell you a funny story, dude. So you guys know I do a lot of brush pile fishing in like Highlands County, Sebring, Central Florida, and that. So when I started doing that, I had a little 5-inch graph that only had down scan. And so the lake Okeechobee got high. I was frustrated because I went from catching a lot of fish and a lot of big fish to really struggling. And I needed a different backdrop, a different scenery. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing some of that offshore fishing. And there was one day, it's kind of like what's talking about with that one day of fishing. There's one day I found one brush pile. And it was like the first real brush pile I ever found.
You're probably like
5 hours looking for it. Yeah, dude. Caught like a 6, caught another 5. Coolest thing. But when we talk about that progress, I went from finding like one brush pile in like 6 hours, 5 hours, to finding 3 in 5 or 6 hours, to finding like 6, 7 in 5, and like over a period of 6 months, like the exponential growth in understanding like that concept and then growing it, you can literally see the progression. Like I can see the progression when I go look back at the videos, and that's what's so cool. You look at where you were and then where you end up, and you're like, dude, the growth that happened here, I might not be the best angler in the world, but like that growth is identifiable. I can see it in the outcomes of every day that I go out. And it's such a cool feeling, dude.
It's very cool. And something I like to do, I like to fish with as many people as I can. And most, in my opinion, what I've found is most fishermen are willing to take you on their boat or vice versa, right? And learn those techniques. I got a partner I'm a shallow water guy, Mikey, hands down all day long. I want to fish shallow. I want to run a big easy or like a logger toad over some grass and get popped by like a 10. Right. But my buddy is great with a 2.5. Amazing, dude. And man, there was like 2 years where I'm like, hell yeah, 2.5 Strike King, 2.5 sexy sad chartreuse all day long. And dude, it just now I feel like I've experimented with different 2.5 or square bills, whatever you want to call them. But by doing so, by stepping out of my comfort zone, getting a different backdrop, fishing different waters. Now I'm great. I know I'm good shallow water. I feel like I got that. I'm confident there, right? Now I got that maybe that like 4 to like 8 foot range locked in too. Now I need to work on the Mikeybalzz, the deep.
Oh, dear.
I gotta go balls deep.
Balls deep.
Dude, balls deep. You're welcome. I'll take a 3% royalty. No. Now, Mikey, there's something that caught my eye. I was watching one of your recent videos, and you pulled out a jerkbait by a brand called Nishini.
Yeah, hold on.
Dude.
I ordered some stuff from Time to Work.
Dude, how much do you know about the Nishini line, my boy?
How much do I know about what?
The Nishini line of baits. Are you familiar with the baby Abino at all?
I've not thrown that one, but dude, I probably shouldn't say it on here, but the trap is sick. and I need to get some.
When's the trap? When can we get the trap?
I don't want to tell you because it's on Tackle Warehouse right now, and I didn't order them. And
bye, guys.
Buy all them,
dude.
I
spent like an hour with those guys at ICAST.
You met him?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, and he's super cool. Yeah,
dude, he's so freaking cool, dude. And like the amount of detail that go into the Nishini line of products. I'm not sponsored. I don't get paid for any of this. It's just an amazing lure. I'm sure you can talk to it, Mikey. I mean, you have the cool little jerk bait. They just got weird little cool nuances and differences that like will get you bit when other stuff won't.
They are funky, dude. And I can't take any credit for this because I was actually on a podcast 3 days. Actually, do you guys know Randy and Chris?
Yeah, Randy the Newton?
Yes.
Yes, we know Randy.
He was in here a little bit ago.
I'm an idiot, dude. So I'm on their podcast and we wrapped it up and they're like, yo, bro, so I heard you're going to be on NextFish. And I'm like, huh? So I have Post-its. You can't see them. They're all over my computer of things that I need to do and remember. Dude, for some reason, Joe, I totally forgot to write it down that we were doing the podcast. So I'd be somewhere in the middle of nowhere driving right now, dude. Freaking going for Randy, freaking telling me that. But in any case, though, so my buddy, dude, I can't even get him out of the package. My buddy Jacob Wall, he's a pro circuit angler. Super nice kid. If you guys get a second, go follow him on YouTube. He's doing a bunch of videos. But you want to talk about like a good hometown kid to root for on the pro circuit? He is it. A super nice kid. He's from Oregon, dude, and he moved to Gunnersville. But he's the one who told me about this. He has a relationship with the Chien, and it's not
he's so lucky
because he works with him. He loves the stuff. And we were out on Gunnersville one day, and that joker. I'm not super competitive. I don't like getting schooled. I don't mind getting caught, but I don't like getting schooled. So he schooled my ass on that jerkbait. And it's exactly for the reasons that you said, Joe. Gunnersville is one of the most pressured lakes. Dude, Okeechobee, Kissimmee got nothing on Gunnersville and Chickamauga and the TVA.
I can only imagine, bro.
Is crazy. And the simple fact that something's different and has the same thing works but in a different way, just a slightly different action. It's the reason the jackhammer was so hot up here. It's the same shit, just slightly different, dude. And this thing, it's the same deal, dude. It's a little bit bigger than the 110s that we throw. It's a 115 millimeter jerkbait. And then if you guys notice, go watch the video from today. I just dropped it. It's actually out on Toho, catching them pretty good on an extremely tough day. But you'll notice there's a small weight on that front hook. You can cut that thing down. You can take it off. You can do whatever you want. But what it causes this thing to do in most water temperatures, not all, obviously buoyancy varies on the density of the water, which is related to the temperature of the water. But this thing, so it casts a lot better than a 110 because there's more weight and there's a weight transfer. But it also does this. Like it slowly
creeps, like
with the head down, and just like that concept with a Senko or a stick bait with that slow sink, there's something about that drives those fish, especially ones that are in weird mood or slightly suspended. It drives them nuts, and that thing, dude, cleaned them up.
Dude, you were smashing them on that thing, dude.
Big ones, dude. I'll tell you what, it sucked. That's before it got cold out there, and there were not many fish offshore. There was in this one small section that I found. I could see them on my active target, but dude, I couldn't catch them on a worm. Couldn't catch them on a wacky rig. Couldn't catch them on a trap. Couldn't catch them on a chatterbait. Now maybe I'm stupid and I was doing it wrong, but dude, I couldn't catch them like any other way. But you get out of jerkbait, and I caught some on a Mikeybalzz, no doubt about it. But that thing was really the highlight, dude. And I think it ran a hair deeper too. That Mikeybalzz, that 110, it runs like 5-ish or so. I run it on 12-pound test. I throw mine on 12 test on the medium action rod, so I get it a hair deeper than other people because they usually put it on 15. But this guy gets, I'd say like 6. And if you give it a second to sink when you start, you can get it like around 7. And that hydrilla, it was domed, so it was topped off in places. But like the bottom was probably 7 to 8 feet, 7 to 9 feet, and there was a little bit of grass coming off the bottom. So it wouldn't tick the grass, but dude, I was snuggling up against it. So
yeah, you're probably right on it. Yeah, that's crazy. I definitely got to pick some of those up. I've been waiting patiently on that trap, man. I think that's going to be a game changer too.
A trap.
Just for the design of that trap, and like you said, that this the small. It's a trap, right? End of the day, lipless crankbait, but it's a little bit
silent though, dude.
Did you see it?
No,
I could only.
Is this the one with the 2 line ties?
Exactly.
Yes,
that's it.
Yes, they're all silent. There's
I'm
no
on Tackle Warehouse, by the way, guys. That's why I'm
dude, just save me a couple in red.
Yeah, it's coming.
No,
Spring's coming.
I'm in the comments because like Tackle Warehouse is dangerous, right?
Oh,
what I mean by that is you can go there and you can get a ton of stuff and it's great and all, but they have done something that is detrimental to any living working man, and they've installed Afterpay, which allows you to break up your stuff into 4 payments. And I'm qualified up to $1,200 with no upfront payment. So I'm like, dude,
this guy's Afterpay is killing him, Mikey. I don't even know what his debt is right now because every day.
I'm gonna be amused when we do this podcast again, and Andrew's gonna be like under a bridge, dude, like freaking shit. And he's like, yeah, man,
It'll just be me and you, Mikey. He's like, where's Andrew? His Afterpay caught up with him, Mikey. Got his ass.
Under 95, dude, just chilling, you know.
God,
I think that's what's cool about you and your channel, Mikey. And in my opinion, I've been watching you for a very long time. I remember when you had the little tracker, man, and you were still making it.
That's been a while, dude.
Dude, I watched you, man. And why I watched you, because you weren't bullshit, man. And what you did, I applied, made it my own with my own lures and my own technique and style, and was successful.
And that's what it's about, dude.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying I know how to do shit, but like the reality is, no, but seriously, the reality is we all kind of got our own little nuance. And it's like I told actually the guys on the KBF thing, like maybe I'm doing something in Alabama. It has no application to Florida, like zero. But maybe there's some little stupid aspect that makes you think about something you're doing in Florida, and then you change that. Because it's all about like primers, you know, like you see something, maybe it doesn't directly apply, but we're always looking for those links and like trying to develop what we're doing. And if we see some little nuance and can reapply it, dude, it can be huge, man.
Right.
I like to call it firework brain, because like you see this explosion and like there's this outburst, and one of those things is going to lead to something epic, and you just don't,
and dude, half the time the shit fails. Let's be perfectly honest. But you know what I mean? Like I did this thing. I don't got one on me. Actually, I can't show my screen, but like, so I took a Kitech, I cut the tail off of it, and I put one of these.
Oh, I've seen the Colorado blade deal.
Yeah. So I put one of these blades in the tail instead of the tail. And dude, I've done like 37 gimmicky things to try shit like that, and none of them have worked. Like zero, dude.
But I'm damn, this one worked, dude.
Dude, it freaking worked.
It worked, bro.
Dude, freaking those lakes of fish around Highlands County sucked, and they probably still suck actually. And dude,
they're tough right now.
2 8s, like back-to-back nights doing it because the fish were suspended. And like I'm gonna whack them up here when I get out and the spots get offshore, dude. I'm gonna light them up. But that's the thing. You play around with things, you're gonna fail a bunch of times, but every once in a while you figure out some little niche thing. And it always comes back to the craziest part. Like even if you look at lure development now, it's not, there's gonna be a new chatterbait at some point, like a new concept. There's gonna be another kind of this mind-blowing thing that's insane for 2 years. But in reality, year to year, the development of lures is not some new, bodacious idea. It's just a little nuanced change that just gives it a different presentation, a different look, or maybe you can fish it slightly differently.
Yeah.
And that's all you're looking for, dude.
Right. Especially on the pressured lakes, like you said. And dude, the sport of fishing itself has grown tremendously, dude. When I was growing, fishing was not freaking cool. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
Going fishing with my dad.
You'd be like, hush, hey, bro, you fish?
Yeah, I'm going fishing with my dad. Oh, you suck, dude. You're lame. I'm like, no. But now it's like everybody wants to fish, man. I think it's awesome too. I think it's great for the schools to get involved and get kids involved in it at an early age.
Yeah, man.
That being said, there's a lot more fishermen out there throwing the same black Zoom trick worm that everybody else has been throwing for a very long time. So that black trick worm, not as potent as it used to be. Still gets the job done, by the way. Little tip there. But I'm all for it, man. I think this is an amazing sport. I think it builds character, and really like makes you kind of look at yourself, and it puts a lot of self accountability on you. It's really not anybody else's fault but yourselves. And it's not even a fault. It's just trying to figure that puzzle out and getting better and growing in it. So,
well, I think what's kind of cool too is, so we have all this forward-facing sonar like development, and it applies in Florida to an extent. Like, so those fish I caught on Toho, I didn't catch them off my active target, but my active target kept me in a place for an hour where I was only getting a bite an hour, and the only reason is because I could see him swimming on my graph, and there was no other like place of hydrilla where I saw movement. But what's interesting though, we talk about like baits, and I always like thinking about where things are going. And there's in 3 or 4 years, the price point on this forward sonar is going to come down, and everybody's going to have it. Right now, we're in that window. It's just like side scan. We're in that transition window. But there's a whole, I'm going to use a big word, cadre, which is like a setting or like a realm of baits that specifically apply to fishing forward-facing sonar. Like that swim bait with the spinner tail. Some of it's more traditional shit, like a swim bait, super easy, like a jerk bait. But we're seeing fish now that we didn't know were there, much less we couldn't even target. And you need specific presentations because they're mostly suspended or they're in weird places that we normally wouldn't look for them. Mainly it is like a suspended thing, but there's baits that are going to develop specifically to pick them off on the like active target or Garmin and that. And that's something that can grow, but it needs to grow along lines with the accessibility to the technology and, the majority of guys having it.
Right. We got a little question here in the comments, Mikey, from Mr. Ernest. What's up, Ernest? I ain't seen my buddy in a while. How we doing, sir? Have you ever tried glide baits around docks?
Hells yes. It's fun. The only problem with glide baits that I've found is I see a lot more fish than I catch. So
that's heartbreaking, isn't it?
And there's like a 3.5 pounder behind it. I'm like, and then I
dude, they're just
nothing happens. Or I do a figure 8, nothing happens. But what's really cool with a glide bait, and actually my buddy Jacob Wells taught me a lot. Me and him we have a good time, and we learn a lot from each other. So I was out on Gunnersville, I think it was 2 years ago. We're in a flat, and dude, it's all eelgrass with holes in it. So it's spring. There's fish on beds. I'm like, dude, this is sport, dude. Like, we can pick them off left and right. And Jacob's like, hold my beer and watch this. So I showed him kind of how I sight fish those holes in the eelgrass and find those fish, power pull back down and catch them and that. And he's like, dude, I bet you there's like 3 or 4 4-pounders on this little point with eelgrass. And I'm like, bullshit, dude. I can't see them. He's like,
right.
He gets out a Roman made, the really
holy
big,
shit.
expensive,
he owns one?
like a big one. Yeah, dude. He slings it out. Dude, we're in 2 foot of water and like chin clear, splashes.
Yeah.
He reels that thing in, dude. And all these fish, bucks and females, come just behind it, like a whole cloud of fish, dude, in a very small. And I'm just watching, like, oh, he's like, I'm not going to catch one. And I'm like, oh, But what ended up happening, which was really cool, is he's like, dude, if you're lucky, you might catch one. If you get one locked on the bed, you can use it as a tool. Glide bait fishing on beds, by the way, try that. Stupidest thing you ever seen. But in any case, though, he uses that as a tool on those shallow flats when you have cruising and spawning fish to say, hey, this flat has 1 million fish and there's bigs, or they're not here. The way these fish will actually track that glide, you almost use it like a fish finder. I can't scan those fish, and I can only see so much because they're so well camouflaged. But I did it on Lanier too, and dude,
they showed themselves.
But you can see them, dude. They flush in, and all of a sudden, like a barren, like mud or sand flat turns into a very active area. And then you can break down how to catch them, how to pick it apart and that. But it's the same concept like the active target. I wouldn't have known to fish that if I didn't know they were there. And it's a way to identify that they're there. So it's really cool. Try that down on Johnny Highlands, though, dude. It works. You go to shallow flats that look like they got nothing, dude, and you run that thing, and you'll see freaking 20 10-inchers follow it.
Dude, what we just talked about listening and picking stuff apart, it literally just happened for me, and I didn't even know I was doing it. I'm like, I'm going to try that. I have a spot with eelgrass that has holes in it. It's like, I know exactly I'm going to try this.
So is it like a territorial thing? Like, are they like wondering what's in their area?
I think it's not territorial, but more curiosity.
Dude, that Roman ring,
dude.
Crazy.
Like, in the end, like, we're dumb for chasing them and giving them so much credit, but like, fish are freaking dumb. So you show them something that's big, that looks funny, and they just
gotta come look
they
at
react to it. And a glide is a weird deal because it's a reaction style lure, but you fish it slower. So like in a sense, because your retrieve's like wonga, and that bait's it's darting and moving, but it's not moving that fast. So it almost to me is like they're not going to close the deal because it'd have to move faster for them to make that split-second decision. They do when it's cold, when the water's super cold, but it's more like they're coming over, seeing like, what the hell is this? What's going on? I'm reacting to it, but I'm not actually reacting like fully by actually eating it. So it's especially viable spots in smallmouth. You'll get a lot of them to follow, but when you get largemouth on shallow flat, you'd be amazed how many fish that you're not seeing. And it'll piss you off, dude. Like,
that's crazy.
Some bigs, like, follow it. But then you can, the way I bed fish is I try to scare them and figure out where they are usually. So you can do that with a glide bait. You can do that with your trolling motor. You turn it on high, you blaze through like a
and they
flat.
Just
they leave, you power pull down 10 foot over, you
can just hang tight
where their bed was, and you sit there and you eat a protein bar for 10 minutes.
You really do. You just kind of wait on them to come back.
And if you're lucky, you saw where they are, they're locked on enough, they're going to come back. And that's probably a catchable fish too. If they're tweaky or if they're not quite locked, you just wasted 10 minutes. But I don't fish derbies, so I don't give a shit. I'd rather take the chance and like, if she comes back, it's going to be a cool video,
That's right. That's right. Are you familiar with Lake Clay and Lake Placid?
Yeah, that's actually one of the places I did the glide bait.
I was going to say, bro.
You go on that shoal in the middle, dude, and throw that glide bait or along that Kissimmee grass line, dude, and they will freaking you'll be blown away how many
dude fish. It happened to me in earnest, man. We had giants come out. They didn't commit. But same principle. We had like, I think we call it like a 3 and like a 4. And
that's then sweet though,
dude, that clay's awesome. It's very clear too. Let me see.
Well, it gets that goo on the bottom. So like that glide bait's kind of perfect because you get that shrimp grass and then that moss goo on the bottom, and you can't really drag a worm through it unless you have like a harder bottom area. So like,
there's the Roman maid.
That $1,100, dude.
Bro, but 4 payments of $275 with afterpay.
Dude, get it, Andrew.
Yeah, I'll be on a payment. That's for you, Andrew. Mortgage your house, dude. Get out.
You can buy like a.
Listen, I said I have a $1,200 limit, but I'm not using it all on that.
No, I could get you right now into like a 2011 Ford Focus for that amount of afterpay payments. Okay, you'd be riding smooth, Andrew.
That's right. That's
and
right.
Then we'll sink the car, use that for structure, and all we get is back from James, dude. We're good to
only throw the Roman maid, dude.
I like it.
Hopefully, I'm in a position one day to own a Roman. I don't even know if I'd throw the Roman.
You don't want one, dude. Dude, I have some crazy shit, and like, I don't want to. Like, I want to look at it and know it's in my boat, but I'm like definitely. My buddy Byron, he used to be the sales rep for Gambler. He works for Missile now. He fishes up. He's in Tennessee, and he fishes a lot of. They have these smaller lakes that are like. They're managed for like trophy fishing and stuff, and he throws a lot of the big swim baits and that. And I was out with him, and I saw him like dicking around. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and he's this and that. So he ran. I don't even know what bait it was. Maybe like a shining. I don't. It doesn't even matter. It was like a $275 bait, dude. He ran it, so he had caught like 2 4-pounders on it. Awesome, dudical. And then he got it hung on a tree. The dude was trying to pull the tree up with his boat or something, or like run like a plug knot. He was just having a hell of a time, dude. And I'm like, dude, I couldn't do that. Like $275 over it. No. And that's where you got to throw it too. You got to throw it over the tree,
Dude, but I will find the hang
on swimming for 110s. Okay. Like these are pricey enough. Okay?
Yeah, dude. I'm saying if you're gonna fish with a $200+ bait, you better have scuba gear in the boat.
That's right. Have you like a scuba diver with you? Like you don't even need a co-angler. You just need someone to go down there and dive and get your shit.
Usually a plug knocker works, but it's just one of those deals. Like so flip side to that, one thing for any of the guys that are looking to try glide baits, one of the best, most affordable glide baits out there, and actually I've used it on clay and had fish follow, is a River to Sea, what is it, S-Waver. So if you want to get started and you want to try that, but you don't want to like cry about the fact that you're making freaking payments like $5 and you can lose it, try that. It's not perfect. It doesn't have the best action in the world.
It does work,
catch fish, and it will give you an idea of what's going on. So,
and I think they're only about like what, $30 right now, Mikey?
I think 30 to 50,
depending on the size.
So here's the other thing I'll throw out there. don't buy the small one.
Get the go big.
I don't care if your lake is like a 1 1/4 pound catches 6 pounds to win tournament lake, dude. They don't react to the small one. I don't know what it is, dude, but like I've thrown that small one. I threw it on it was a bigger fish, but it was 7-pound bedfish on Lanier. Dude, it looked at it and laughed at me. I could see the fish making bubbles laughing at me. I threw the big one, and it seems like that bigger profile. I don't know if it's because it's more intimidating, like a territorial thing, like you mentioned, Andrew, or what, but they react to the bigger one. I don't care how small the fish are. You got to go with the bigger one, dude.
How do you feel? So, like you're saying the 8-inch one, how do you feel about the 6 3/4?
Yeah, I think that's the one I don't like. I got 2 of them. And I've never, my main experimenting with those comes when I have bedfish. I'll throw them in open water, but when I actually can see the fish react in that, I've played around with them to see how they react. And on beds, they will not even give a time of day to that small glide. And it doesn't wonk well. It's almost like you need more weight. It doesn't even sink that fast, but you need more weight in that bait for it to get that good glide. When you actually try to glide that small one, it doesn't.
It's like not long enough.
I'm no expert, dude. I'm no expert in glide baits, but it's almost like a spook. When you get the right spook, like the right one that feed up right, or the right like alternative to a spook, you know when it's doing that.
That perfect like.
Yeah, dude. And it seems like the bigger ones are the ones that do it just because they're weighted better, and the fish react to them.
I think the word is like more, in my opinion, more effortless. The bigger ones just seem to do it better.
I agree.
Backing up a large trailer versus
a little further too.
Yeah.
And
the reality is these fish, unless you're catching like 8s and 9s, these fish don't eat the bait. Like I caught a 2.5 pound spot on an S-waver. Dude, it was like hooked on the fish ran into it. But you know what I mean? Like it swiped it. Maybe they're not killing it, they're trying to eat it, but like you're never catching one where it's like down their throat, they like ate it and all that. Like they're hitting it, they're like slamming at the bait. So
Spencer down here, he deals a lot with Savage Gear.
That's a good one, dude.
The glide swimmer's not bad. The bigger ones, I know a guy up here, God, his name's Freddie, I don't remember his last name. The Shine Glide, that's what he uses. The Shine Glide and Golden Shiner up here uses the big 8-inch one and reps them, dude. He don't catch a lot, but they commit and hit that. He'll catch even 2-pounders on that Shine Glide.
So my belief is there's a huge untapped market for a wild shiner type glide bait that we can actually fish down in Florida. But it's going to take the right manufacturer to make it, because it can't sink like the ones that are out there, because you got to fish them too fast. But if it can't float, but it can't be what is it called? Like a 1 second, 1 foot. I forget what that
like a RTF, like a rate.
Yeah, exactly. So it can't be that, and it can't be a float. It needs to be like slightly in between. And maybe that's something where we customize it, put some, like little lead thing on it or something.
Or strip weights or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I got to do. I'll get a floater and like strip weight it.
So it's just inches, dude.
Like centimeters, you know?
Exactly. Because, dude, the amount of fish, like Okeechobee is a great example, dude. You go out there and you fish. Back in the day when I fished out there, there's a point called Blue Hole. So it's just north of Clewiston, and it's just, I don't even think it's barely there anymore because the water washed
it's all different now.
Dude, it was the awesomest point ever, and anybody could go there. You could have a boat run through it, you could row through it, and like flipping it is what I used to do. Like you would catch a fish, like a 4-pounder, 5, whatever. But the guides would go to the very tip of the point, they'd power pull down or anchor down, and they'd put shiners on that point and sit there and wreck their ass. And these fish would just swim to them. And there's something to that. It would change the way you fish, because you'd actually be setting up on an area and allowing the fish to come to you. Yeah, but there's an opportunity like that, and it would change the way you kind of approach that. But there's places they still do that out there. These shiner poles they got.
Bro.
I think we could do something like that with a big fluke or something, but that glide would be, I think, the key. Getting that darting circle back kind of action to it.
Yeah, like big wild shiner on a big bobber.
Exactly, dude.
Deal.
But it'd have to run just right so you could fish it on those grass lines and not get hung up. That's always been the challenge. The shallower you get, and that's why I like deep water fishing. The deeper, more open water you get, the more options for lures and presentations that you have. Mm-hmm. The shallower you get, the more restricted to the tackle that you can use, which isn't a bad thing. It's a reality. It's a challenge. You know?
Yeah. And just like you said, it just narrows your options, and you just got to be different, right? Whether it be adding a little different trailer or something, whatever it may be. But Mikey, we went a little further than we normally do, but it's cool, man, because we got a lot of information out and talked pretty cool, man. We had a good little talk. We learned some things, taught some people some things. They're over here. Dude, we just sold Tackle Warehouse out, I bet, right now.
I hope not, dude. I seriously need to learn. You guys are dicks, man.
Now we do have a buddy, Mr. Max Manous. He's going to be fishing.
I know Max.
You know Max?
Yeah.
Dude, do you have
the Gambler Process? Super nice kid. Shoots a bunch of videos.
I was just out on the boat with him yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Max.
We like Max.
Max.
Any tips from Mr. Max? He's fishing Toho Saturday, and we want to get him. No, he's fishing the chain, Harris, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fishing the chain.
Is he fishing Toho?
No. He's up on Harris.
Okay. Any Harris?
And for me, tips?
Yeah.
So, all right, I wasn't able to get out on Toho because of things that we discussed earlier. Had control issues. If I were going out there, I probably.
Hold on, I apologize. Harris chain.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. So Harris. Usually I spend a couple days out there and I wasn't able to. I like fishing a jerkbait out there, a hard and a soft, but I fish a Magnum jerkbait, like
the big
soft jerkbait. And then I fish a trap, and I know every single person and their brother fishes a trap, but I fish it a little bit different. Like I'll run a 3/4 ounce trap out there and a 1/2 ounce, but sometimes I'll put them. I run no braid. Some of those guys run braid, but a 1 knocker is super key out there. And playing with different trap presentations, you'd be amazed. You hit like a flat where you can see them on your active target, and you can't catch them on, say, like your classic red eye shad. You go out there with a 1 knocker, or another sneaky one is a tungsten 2-tap. But that different vibration, dude, like you'd be amazed. Like you wear them out on one, you pick up that other trap, and you're catching fish that weren't even reacting to your first trap. That's the way I like to fish it out there. The other sneaky thing on Harris, if it's a 1-day event, you cannot win. Well, I shouldn't say that. In my opinion, you could be successful doing this in a multiple day event. But there's one thing that I've noticed in North Central Florida, a lot of guys don't flip mats. They'll flip the Kissimmee grass, they'll flip around in the cane. There's a lot of isolated mats in stupid places too. Like in a channel going into like canals where they spawn, and it's maybe like the size of a desk. It's super isolated cover. There's also an area that's the what the hell is that called on Griffin? The reservation or the preserve area. You know what I'm talking about? It goes into Yale, I think. There's a preserve area where it's idle only. That can be super sick because they go and they bed in there, and usually there's some ultra shallow stuff like 1.5 feet, 2 foot, and some junk mats and stuff. But you can fit. It's not fun. It's like brush pile fishing, dude. Like you run 1.5 miles, you make 4 pitches, and then you freaking run another mile.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a sneaky little mat bite to get a few big bites and to kind of like screw around with that. The other one, and I wanted to actually cook this year, and I didn't have the opportunity. Belly weighted swim baits. So a lot of that hydrilla, you run a trap, you rip it off of there. Maybe you run a swimming worm. Everybody does that. But one thing that doesn't get done is you take like I don't think I have. Well, I have a belly weight. You take something like this right here. So these are owner.
Oh, okay.
Owner screw lock hooks. But they also make one called help me guys. It's like
is it an owner?
Swimmer.
Yeah, a flashy swimmer with the little willow blade.
Exactly. So you take one of those and you do it in like 3/8, dude. Like heavy. Like,
Oh,
but
shit.
you put a bigger swim bait on it, a 4.8, maybe a big easy, maybe a 5.7
Like a 7-inch guy
or
type or
5.8,
something.
6.2. Like, you put a chunkier swim bait, and what actually happens is, and it's something I learned on Gunnersville, you can fish like a swim bait on a 1/2 ounce head in like 3 feet of water. As long as the swim bait's big enough, it slows down that fall, and it really, you need that heavy weight to actually keep it down versus you think
Because it rises.
grass.
Yeah.
Exactly. So ripping that grass or slow rolling it and ticking it. I actually did it on stick marsh. I missed 2 giants. I wanted to try to shoot a video on it, doing it through eelgrass, but it's something that I think could really work, but I never got to do the experiment that I wanted to do. So, but I think that's something that's out there, especially when you get those fish where they'll knock at a trap and not close the deal, and you can knock at that jerkbait or maybe that swimming worm. They don't see that shit. And like, they're on, the cool part about Harris is they're on shad. For the most part, this time of year, they're eating shad. A lot of our lakes, Central Florida and South, if you're not fishing some kind of brim pattern, you're not catching bigs. Well, from Leesburg north, that changes. You can catch a 25-pound bag on shad-style baits, like north of Leesburg up. And that's something that I'd really like to try. The other thing is, if you can, throw a freaking rig, dude. You got to find the right depth areas to do that, but an A-rig in Florida is actually super killer, and nobody does it because it's a headache.
Dude, I got a buddy that throws that A-rig on our Lake Jackson, not the one up north.
Dude, that place is perfect for it. Yeah.
And I'll just leave it at that. I'm not saying no more, because that's like his little thing. But
there's a lot of suspended fish out there. They're not above the grass, but they're up in the water column, and that's the same with these fish on Harris. They're up in the tops of the grass. Like, very rarely do those fish sit in the bottom. And like, if they're in the bottom, you ain't gonna freaking catch them because they're not active.
They're shut down. They're down there just chilling. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with those grass fish. They're always on top. Not always, but the ones that are going to bite are above that. And then
you can see them on the side scan. Like, one of the biggest freaking, I caught like a 7-pounder out there a few years ago, and I shit you not, I was idling a grass line, and I saw 5. I wish I could have caught them all. 5 giant dots, and those jokers were, the only reason I saw them was because they're above the grass, dude. And they'll show up as white dots on your side scan. You can actually scan that stuff and see them. Now, I didn't have active target at that point, so I could have probably kept track of them.
Dude, you could have just found them, yeah.
Exactly. But you don't want to get too hooked on it because you can waste a day and catch 2 fish. But if they're right, you can see them on the side scan. Through the grass or on the top of the grass as you're idling, especially if you're in 5 to 6 is usually the cutoff. You start getting in 3 or 4, your stuff doesn't shoot out far enough. But 5, 6, 7, 8, you can see those jokers.
Perfect. Andrew, go ahead and show your PB, your awesome catch of the day.
This was from my trip with Max yesterday.
This thing is solid, bro.
Dude, that's a great picture.
Dude,
look at that thing.
I thought I had a tank. Okay.
I bet.
I thought I hooked the one.
You did. You hooked the one big ass shad.
Yeah, your bait's way too small, dude. You got to move up to a side bait.
Now I know.
Man, I appreciate your time, but I know you're a busy man, as are we. But hang tight with us. We want to chop it up a little bit after the live feed. We're going to disclose it out here. Thank you for your time and all your information, and thank you for keeping it real, bud. You, in my opinion, you're one of the realest guys on YouTube and on this whole social media thing, which is why I've been following you since the tin can, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And a little selfless plug, if any of you guys in the chat want to go check out the channel, it's Mikeybalzz, Mikeybalzz, and you will find me all over Google. Good or not. So.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you, Mikey. Hang tight with us. We'll bring you back in a little bit later, okay?
Good deal, guys. Thanks again.
Thanks, bud. Bro, I learned so much.
Dude.
Like,
what a dude.
Dude, I just want to go fishing right now, dude.
I keep getting freaked out.
You know what's freaking me out? It's not really.
I keep looking behind me.
I didn't know what that was, but it's what is that? Bam.
It's a jellyfish, dude.
Jellyfish. Did you ever used to watch Rocket Power?
No.
What?
What? No.
I really got to think about our friendship, dude. You never watched Rocket Power on Nickelodeon?
Dude, you have to understand something. Like, I was never big into TV. I played music and I fished.
But Rocket Power.
I don't know Rocket Power.
Dude, jellyfish.
On that
jellyfish,
note, dude, I
jellyfish.
just want to. I don't want to talk to you anymore on live because I feel like you're like judging me.
Jellyfish. You've never seen Rocket
No,
Pop.
I ain't never
You're messing with me, bro. You're playing with me.
No, I'm not. I got nothing to hide.
Dang, bro.
I will watch it though.
It probably won't hit as hard. Like,
but maybe it will because I haven't seen it.
I don't. You know what hit hard the other day though?
What's that?
Doug, bro.
Dude.
Doug. Now I know you've seen Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, we're cool. We're cool again.
Yeah, no.
We're cool again. Okay.
Doug is legit.
Dude, Mikeybalzz, great dude. Check him out on YouTube, Instagram. He's everywhere, man, catching big fish. And he gives real information on what works for him. Take what he uses, try to apply it to what you need to do, and make it your own. That's the beauty of fishing. Make it your own.
That's right.
And I just appreciate Mikey's time, man, and everything he does for the fishing community. So thank you, Mikey.
Great dude. Great dude. With that being said, Joe, we'll be back next week.
We shall.
We've got a chapter 3 dropping on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, you might want to check that out. Get over to nextfish.co, C-O, not C-O-M.
That's right.
And sign up, man. We got an awesome giveaway going on. Tons of cool stuff we're giving away. You guys, we talk about it all the time. Sign up. Trips, items, lures, CSR stuff, whole kits of CSR, hundreds of dollars of CSR stuff, pesky stuff to keep the bugs off you. Shirts, cool shirts. Thanks to, God, I can't believe I forgot her name. Thanks to Manny. Manny made it coming through with the 6 shirts. We have koozies. We got all kind of crap, dude. Hoplark kegs. We have kegs.
We don't have kegs, but they have kegs.
We have kegs. It doesn't matter. Kevin, thank you for the gifts. And Mikey, thanks for tuning in, bud. We're out. Till next time.
See you.